Hey guys, welcome back to the Whole Quarter Chat. Before we go forward with this video, I want to first say thank you to everybody who's liked, who subscribed, who left a message, who either sent me a message, giving some insight on how they feel about the certain topics that have been posted. So I definitely want to say thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you for becoming a part of the Whole Quarter. On today's video, I want to talk about self-reflection. And I know that this is something that I'm hoping during the quarantine and us not being able to go outside, please open up outside. But moving on, self-reflection, that's a really deep topic, and it's a deep topic because it makes you sit down and actually look at yourself. During this quarantine, I've been watching a lot of stuff happening on social media, and I mean like a lot of stuff, and some stuff I'm like, wow, and then some stuff I'm like, okay girl, okay honey, do what you gotta do. But most of the stuff have been, wow. I don't think that people sit down and actually take the time to deal with themselves. And that's something hard that you have to do, to actually sit down and have to bear with yourself. Now, people at work, your family, all of those different types of people have to deal with you. And I'm not trying to be mean, but they don't even want to deal with you. So that's when it's time to sit down and self-reflect. Who am I? What am I doing? Where am I going? What am I supposed to be doing? Why am I here? Well, these are these like different questions we need to ask ourselves. And I'm telling you, if people really took the time to sit down and self-reflect and sat down and got to know themselves, I think that things would just flow a little bit better. You know what I mean? If we kind of knew what we're supposed to be doing, And some of us are leaders, some of us are followers, and and follower not in a bad way, but some of us are supposed to be the foundation of certain things, like, so it's not always bad if you are supposed to be the foundation. You know what I mean? There's always going to be somebody at the top, and there's always going to be somebody at the bottom. And then there may be certain things where you're at the bottom, and there may be certain things where you're at the top. So, just sitting down and taking the time to get to know who you are, like, it's really important, but it's also a scary task. As I get older, and I'm pushing 30, and I know people are like, girl, that ain't old at all, but to me, it's like, I had to sit down and I had to reflect, like, where am I supposed to be going? Because now I'm about to turn 30 soon, like within a few years I'm gonna be 30, and it's like you have to sit and think, like, what direction am I going in? Am I going up, and am I going down? So I mean, it is really important to ask yourself these questions. Also, to go back to dealing with yourself, if you have some stuff in your spirit, stuff in your soul, stuff in your body that is bad, and you have not dealt with it, it is not going to do nothing but break you down even more. You're not going to become the person you're supposed to be until you deal with, take out, remove, and clean out the bad stuff. I mean, and that's like trauma, that's forgiveness, that's healthy eating, you know what I mean? Not even healthy eating, but a good detox every now and again, to get you through that. All of the different things, like, you need to cleanse out the bad stuff. And me being a believer and going to church and being a Christian, I always go to God for an inner cleanse, for him to give me the direction of what I need to do to cleanse my inner self. And I know that everybody is not a believer, and everybody's not a Christian, and you have different things, different ways that you handle your issues and your problems. So whatever it is, it's really important that you sit and you cleanse out the bad stuff. Like, just take it out. So is that sitting down and just writing everything down that you did bad and then forgiving yourself for it, or forgiving whoever did anything bad to you, or, you know, just going over all the things in the past and just taking it out one by one. That is a perfect way to self-reflect, because now as you start to take out the bad stuff, you start to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and like what's looking back at you, because now you see the pureness in yourself, you see the goodness in yourself. You're not, and I know that it's hard, because you're not always going to be pure and good. You're not always going to have good things happen to you. You're not always going to be able to handle things that are being thrown at you. But if you conquer it, I promise you, you'll feel better. If you take the steps to move forward to try to conquer that problem or that issue, you're going to feel like a new person. When I was younger, I had a lot of trauma. I had a lot of trauma. I went through a lot as a kid. You know, as a teenager, I hated high school. Like, bro, when I tell you I hated high school, I hated high school. And I know hate is a strong word, but I hated high school. Like, even people say, oh, could you go back? Would you do it all over? I don't even want to go back. Just after high school, I'll do better in college. Like, yeah, because I didn't like who I was. I didn't like the things that I did. I didn't like the things that were done to me, you know. So those are the things that I had to deal with, and I let it fester in me so long. I never dealt with it. I never talked to anybody about it. I just kind of swept it under the rug and kept it moving, and I started to lose myself. I couldn't see my own reflection. I couldn't see what was looking back at me. Like, there were times I wouldn't even look in the mirror. I would just kind of brush my teeth and keep it moving. Like, if I stared in the mirror too long, I couldn't stand myself. It was just time to move. Like, and it wasn't even the look of how I look. It was that I knew I was messed up. I knew I was toe up from the flow up, that I couldn't face it, because staring in the mirror too long meant tears were going to come, screaming was going to come, I started to feel angry. Like, so, you know, once I found a serenity, like once I found a place of peace, you know, I started to spend more time in that place, wherever that place was. I still have some things that I'm dealing with, but I'm like, it's almost gone. It's almost out of me. It took a while. It took 5, almost 10 years for me to just deal with the things that I went through, the things that I experienced, the hurt that was put on me, and the hurt that I put on others. Like, it took me 10 years to get to this place where I'm at right now, and that place is I have peace. I have peace. I don't always have good days. There's some days depression comes and visits and sits down and has a talk with me. Like, there are days that insecurity comes, sits down and has a talk with me, comes for a visit. But I've found a sense of peace where I can have those moments. Before it was full days, but now I can have those moments, and I can turn it into a lesson learned. So I'm truly blessed by that. Like, and I really hope that other people can find that they can sit down and they can self-reflect and they can figure out, like, who am I? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? Am I hurting people? Am I helping people? Am I good for the environment? Am I good for my environment? Is my environment good for me? These are just some questions that we have to ask ourselves. And I'm sure that you will find peace and serenity and love and gratefulness if and when you self-reflect. Thank you guys for viewing this video, for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and see you next time.